Let me see. Final Fantasy documentary. Okay, there it is. Final Fantasy 14 documentary. Okay, good. And let me look right here. Play Neo. Vampire Survivors has a massive update. I'll look at that maybe in a bit. Now I feel that every game feels boring to me right now. Yeah, Endwalker's kind of boring to me so far, first time playing through. I still think I'll like it, though. That's what matters. So we did the first half of this yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. Now we're going to finish it. It is Final Fantasy. This is the documentary. It's a documentary. What is it called? Documentary? Now, see, I said it the wrong way. Like, now I can't say it the right way anymore. I forgot what the right way was. Anyway, we're going to look at this right here. And play V Rising. Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of a sleeper game to play on stream. You know, that's what my opinion is. Okay, here we go. So, we last left off right here. Yoshi P took over the game. And people are a little bit worried about it. Game's been going pretty well. Games are dry right now. I feel like they're dry as a motherfucker, man. Like, it is brutal how dry they are. You need a group to play it with, maybe. And let's see this. Read subtitles for me. Let me get that fixed. Subtitles. I just clicked some stupid shit I didn't mean to do. Okay, let me do that. And let's see here. Subtitles, English, Japanese speakers. All right, we good. Let's watch it. Here we go. Play some TBC? Bro, you just know Sean, I'm going to play TBC. That game is done. I played it back whenever it came out. It was fucking amazing. It was the best game ever. But you know what? It came and gone. It was not right. I'm gonna come back just a little bit, okay? Just so we can catch up. Let's watch it. Yeah, it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to live in the past. Well, I am, but like, not like that.
僕らもすごい励まされました。
Here we go.
やっぱりちゃんと面白いものを作っていけばみんなプレイをしてくれるっていうのも数字の上からもよく見えたので当時の7つ
This, yeah, they brought us 7 jobs at the same time.
ジョブパッチナンバーは忘れちゃったけど7つのジョブがいっぺんに実装されたんですけど
It's crazy how much like some game studios can just like fucking pump out content. It's always weird to me to see like one studio that it's like, man, they can do something like this, and then there's like other studios where it's like, yeah. So the boss bugs out. Jeez, dude. Oh man. All right. We got a pipeline for these things, and you know. We'll see what happens, and it takes a year to get it fixed.
たった一人のゲームデザイナーが作ったんで
Yeah, that's it. One guy.
The team had their
one
sights
guy
set on
made
what
7
needed to be
classes.
changed and how they were going to do it.
Isn't that
For the first
crazy?
time in years, they were feeling hopeful, and even better, players were finally starting to respond with positivity. But right as they were settling into this new reality and finding their rhythm, disaster struck.
The dark clouds.
For 6 minutes, Japan shook. A 9.0 earthquake had struck 200 miles northeast of Tokyo,
Oh my
and a
God.
resulting tsunami devastated coastal regions. What
Oh,
followed
bro, like, I remember whenever this shit happened, that freaked me out. Like, I saw this, I was like, what the fuck? Like, did you guys see it too? It was brutal, man.
was a humanitarian and infrastructural disaster
I'd never
that can
seen
be
anything
barely
like this before.
comprehended. While the country rallied to help those affected, Tokyo suffered aftershocks and frequent electrical blackouts. I asked Yoshida-san if he'd like to share how this had affected the team.
まあ東京もそうは言ってもすごい揺れたので
So y'all can see it.
やっぱりまあ当日はね会社に泊まった方が安全だって言って帰らないでずっとニュースを見てるっていう人たちもいたしやっぱり東北に家族とかね親戚とかいるスタッフも当然いたのでまあもう正直言うともう開発どころではなかったのは確かにそうですねで開発なんか優先すべきじゃないと思うのでやっぱりみんな開発者の前に人なので
Remember whenever Amazon made all the people, like, they didn't make them all keep working. It was just, like, bad fucking management. But, like, remember there was, like, that tornado and people in Amazon got killed? It's crazy to see, like, what the difference is with that, right? It is. Like, and that happened recently. They made them stay. Yeah. Well, they didn't make them stay. Well, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, the thing that they got made to stay, that was, like, the the lawsuit. So of course that's what they're alleging. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what happened.
まあ日本中電力が足りなくなっていたので、まあ本当に
I'll have to look into
些
it.
細なのかもしれないけど、
Look at that, bro. Like,
サーバーを全
holy
部落とそう。
shit. I remember like watching videos of this whenever it happened, and I couldn't even believe it. Like, I straight up could not believe like this could happen. Like, I was like, bro, this is like it's like a model editor in a video game. Yeah, it was like a movie. Yeah, it was some Pacific Rim shit.
まあ少しでも協力できることがあればっていうことで、プレイヤーの皆さんにも申し訳ないんですけど、サーバーを一定期間止めますっていう話をして、そんな時期でしたね。
Yeah, shut the servers down. It's probably a good idea.
サーバーの稼働を再開してから、プレイヤーの方からまあお手紙をいただいたりしたんですけど、エオルゼアの中で遠くにいる友達の無事が確認できた。
That's nice.
エオルゼアがあったから電話も通じない、連絡の手段がなかったところ、
Oh
エオル
wow.
ゼアの中にログインしてきてくれたことで、
That's cool.
無事だったっていうのが分かった。
Holy shit, that's
逆に
actually
その周りの人たち
badass.
の情報っていうのも分かったっていうお話をいくつかいただいて、まあ
See, like that's the one thing that like I really feel like nobody ever talks about the good shit that comes out of video games. It's always the bad shit. But there's like a lot of these like really small like good personal stories, and like the fact is like that's the majority of them are the good stories of people that have these like great things happen with video games. Yeah, it's a good thing.
力が足りなければね、当然その
Absolutely.
サーバーなんて落とせばいい
Hell yeah.
かなと思うんですけど、そうじゃない限りは続けるっていうことも、エオルゼアを維持しておくっていうことも一つのなんかこうサポートなのかなって思った機会でもありましたね、その時は。だから続けてくれてありがとうって言われたんですよ。
That's brutal, man. Holy shit.
開発で、まああとは最も大きかったのは、実はイフリートの次に戦う
Yeah, it's Leviathan in
ボ
real
スはリ
life.
ヴァイアさんの予定で、リヴァイアさんをかなりの速度で作ってたんですけど、とてもじゃないけどリリースなんかできないっていう話で、だからイフリートの後モーグリが実装されているのはそれが理由ですね。急いでモーグリを作り直した。
The Moogle oh my god.
し直したので、いやそんな
Bro, that fight made me so mad. Because everybody was telling me all the time, they're like, oh, bro, you have to slow it down to listen to what they're saying in the song. I'm like, no, like, that's not true. And, like, it would make me so mad.
ことはなかったですよ。みんなやっぱりそれぞれのあの時期まあ、会社に来れない
Oh,
人たち
damn.
もまあ何日か会社も休みにしてるんで、ただどっちかっていうと自分たちにできることをやろうっていうみんな感じだった。じゃあ全員で福島に行って何か僕らが活動することって意味があるのか、あれだけたくさんの人たちが押しかけてる中で、だったら僕らは
I wonder, like, how much looting there was. Because, like, every time that we have, like, one of these big natural disasters here in the U.S., that's free TV week for some people, right? None? Like, that's what I wonder. Like, it's like, because people would say that, but, like, is that really true? Like, I don't know.
なんだろう、彼らが落ち着いた時にゲームを楽しく遊べるように、僕らは結局ゲーム作るしか脳がないので、まあ、ゲームを作り続けるのが結局何よりなのかもっていう、こういう話はしなかったですけど、
That's a smart thing to say,
みんな
yeah.
そういう感じで復帰してきてましたよ、仕事に。
Yeah, distract people as much as you can. That's what people that make video games do, right? It's a distraction. That's the good shit. At least I think so. I think that's a good thing.
Over the coming months, the team would release patch after patch for 1.0. 1.17 introduced 8-player parties and more stable network infrastructure. 1.18 dropped in June 2011 and was a huge patch that made the game much more playable. Level caps
Imagine
lowered
that.
for story quests. It added grand companies, class adjustments,
Oh, yeah.
instance dungeons, and auto attack. Yes, would you believe this game still didn't have auto attack? It featured a more user-friendly map interface and also scrapped the controversial fatigue system.
And so we need to take this concept that Yoshida-san has created, make it fit with the current world, write stories around it, make the transition seem seamless, and then in the new world, make it so that there's still some connection with that old world that will be understood by those core players, but won't alienate new players. It won't be something like, oh, you didn't play that old, the stuff in 1.0, so you're going to be completely lost. Because we don't want to do that either. We want to get new players to come that didn't play the original.
That's really important.
We don't want to have them have to play the original to understand this one. And so trying to work the story that way was, it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun. We got to try a lot of things. We had a lot of freedom, then especially on the 1.x stuff, because in a sense, it would only be released, seen for a few months, and then it would be gone forever.
Yeah.
And so
who gives a fuck?
On one hand, that's really exciting because we can do whatever we want. We can create these crazy stories, have these crazy characters, all of these crazy situations, and go,
Bro, the fucking best part of A Realm Reborn where it was whenever he held her up like a fucking parrot while she was talking to everybody. Oh my god, that was actually the best part of it.
Balls to the wall. But on the other hand, we're working day and night on something that only a few thousand people are going to see and will be gone in 6 months.
Yeah.
I really think, I look back at it now, I think we did a lot of our best work during that one point. And it's sad.
I'm not surprised about that because that's whenever you just do whatever you want to do. I think it's like a certain level of creative freedom where you can just do whatever the fuck, right? Like that's the way I would feel. One sec. We good.
Is ever going to see that. Maybe, there's some videos up on YouTube where people can still go back and
yeah,
check
we
them out.
watched
But
some of those.
A lot of, some of the best stories, some of the most crazy stuff went on during that 1.x period because it was pretty much no hold barred. Anything can happen. We had like crazy cults and you had like, people from the Garlean Empire. There was like propaganda, giant.
Well, I feel like there were some things like, for example, the fucking Philemon, or I don't know how to say her fucking name, Gilfina, who, like she was a singer and then you had to find her and like all this and like that. Like that is kind of important to know in the story, I think. Yeah, Philemon. Yeah, well, whatever the fuck her name is. I don't know what her name is. And anyway, that does matter because it explains why like Thancred cares about her a lot. Yeah, it fills in the backstory.
And machines, and it was just anything goes in a type of situation there, and it was just really a lot of fun.
1.19 signified the 1-year anniversary. Players finally got personal chocobos, and in the distance, one light in the night sky burnt slightly brighter, a sign of things to come.
Oh, that's
cool. The very first time it was just some rumor between players. Oh, is it getting bigger? No, I don't think so.
This was also when Square Enix announced that an entirely
I wish Blizzard would do something like that. Like, that's honestly what I wish they would do. Is like, one day, the Sargeras sword is just gone. Yeah, it's just gone. Where'd it go? It is what it is, right? It's gone. Like, some massive fucking change like that. Yeah, like the Argos star, exactly.
Version of the game had been in development since January, and that current players would receive copies of it for free. They also announced that players' character data and progress would be transferred to this new version, what they were then calling version 2.0. A roadmap for patches was outlined, and it was announced that monthly fees would be reinstated as of January 2012 as an incentive for players to keep playing.
That looked awful. Oh my god. Look at her name. Nyan Nyan. Look Oh my god.
While the fees were introduced, they announced Legacy Campaign, which rewarded players who paid for at least 3 months of service with permanently reduced monthly fees. Those players would also get an exclusive Chocobo mount, while as a thank you for their support during the redevelopment, their names would be featured in the credits of the new game.
They still have that.
10月14日に
2011
レルムリボーンっていう14を全く新しいゲームとして作り直してますっていう発表を同時にすることで、どうなる？このままアップデートしていくんじゃないの？一体どうなるのこの先？楽しかったですよ。
1.2 was the final patch of 2011. It saw
I would bet. It's like, what the fuck is gonna happen? I don't know.
The servers renamed, while the moon Dalamud now seemed larger in the sky. 1.21 came in March 2012, introducing a new job system and 2 new dungeons. 1.22 followed in April. Dalamud grew closer, and now some players are beginning to have nightmares. Ominous dreams greet players who log into the game while at an inn. The community all the while trying to figure this out. Is the moon going to destroy the world? Then how will player data be saved in 2.0? They wouldn't have to wait long for answers. That summer, a trailer revealed that 2.0 would be titled A Realm Reborn.
Holy shit, that's badass!
Interviews explaining the future of the game and the features players can expect. On September 12, 2012, the final patch for 1.0 was released. The game updates to 1.23b, and with it comes an enormous Dalamud.
Oh my
its
god.
Mechanical outer shell now in full view. Players now realizing that this world didn't have long left. On November 1st, 2012, a final in-game battle began.
Holy shit.
Square Enix made entry free for the final week of the game, while a haunting song can be heard playing on the wind across the entire realm. While the server struggled to deal with the load, players got together with their friends one last time, as the development team in Japan spammed enemies outside capital cities. One group of players outside of Golda has become legendary, attempting to protect the city with what we now call the Great Gobu Wall.
Holy shit.
Right before Dalamud hit Elzir, we had to do some chaotic situation to the existing world.
That would make sense.
So what we decided to do is to spawn the strong enemies at the near the main cities.
And like the funny thing is, I bet they got that idea from Blizzard, because that's exactly what Blizzard did. They did that at the end of the betas, and they did that from like, I think it was like a vanilla WoW going into BC. Like, and it was fucking cool too. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, other MMOs did that too. Yeah, it was badass.
Even when I popped the very strong, Manticore or the mobile or the giant monsters, players kill instantly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah, just snap. So
that's where he fucking attacked the ship.
You killed my monster again. So what we can do is just keep spawning the lots of monsters, and then in very late night when I was keep spawning the monsters. The one programmer I've never talked to him before, but just coming down to my desk and then just give me a bit of paper with some numbers, which numbers I can understand. This is the number of the certain monster.
Okay.
I can type in
the item,
so that,
character
I
ID.
Then I can spawn a very new, stronger monsters. Right. Oh, thank you very much. It's the program.
They did this during the classic beta too. Remember that? Whenever they fucking. So I was doing the classic beta stress test, and then they just randomly spawned Cthulhu. And like the I-beam killed like 1,000 people. Then Omar randomly, out of everybody, picks me out of the crowd, teleports me to the top of the fucking map, and makes me fall down and die from fall damage. Remember that?
So that was a very fun moment.
You were like playing God.
At first, I felt like God.
That's about right.
Hey players, can you beat my monsters? But no. I was very weak God.
They were God.
Yeah, they were God.
So it was then, on Sunday, November 11th, 2012, just over a year after Final Fantasy XIV was originally launched, with Dalamud hanging in the sky, that the servers were finally turned off. And as they did, a trailer dropped, showing players what was to become of their old home.
That's so badass. That is so fucking cool, man. God damn. I feel like the best part of that was the fact that, like, at the very beginning, you know what happened. Like, I honestly think it was so fucking cool that there was a part 2 of that cinematic, and, like, you didn't even find out about it until you beat the last raid. That was just amazing.
I mean, it's
like, there are very few, like, that's like From Software level of confidence. It's like, we know this is so good that we're not even going to show you the best part. You're going to have to play the game for that. It's so well done. Yeah, it's just, honestly, it was one of the best parts of, like, playing the game. It was badass.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you had something that not a lot of people liked, and everyone wanted to forget about it. So rather than, you know, just taking that and doing it over, and just reimagining it, why not destroy that and start over? If we leave too much of that original core there, then it will just linger on as that kind of cancer that, you know, will always bring us back to that failure.
Yep.
Why not just clean the slate? But on the other hand,
that's what they should do with WoW. Is I think it's the same thing. Like, fucking wipe the slate clean, erase, yeet, and delete. Like, let's change some shit up. Let's actually move on. I would love to see that. Another Cataclysm.
And this is where,
yeah, I think that's what they should have done. They should have just. The thing with, like, WoW Cataclysm is, like, it's like I think it was a good idea for them to do Cataclysm. I do. But they should have changed more about the game. And I think they need another one. Like, they need a big fucking Cataclysm in the game. I honestly thought we were going to get it after Shadowlands. You know what I think? I think that Blizzard maybe thought they were going to do it after Shadowlands. But, like, after the fucking investigation and everything, maybe it just never happened.
You know, things kind of got complicated.
Yeah, I need WoW too.
You know, no matter how bad the reviews were and how many people bought the game but then left the game, there was still this core of players in both Japan and, you know, Europe, North America, that were passionate about the game.
You know what I think about, like, this is like a fantasy of mine, is like, what if, like, in 7 years from now, they make a video like this whenever they do the same thing for New World, and they make New World, and they actually call it that, and, like, they say, fuck it, like, you know, it is what it is, right? And it's like, you know, the game's actually, like, super good, and, like, I log on, and, you know, it's like, yeah, dude, it's New World all over again. Like, it's got, yeah, like, I mean, that's not, no, it's not copium. Like, it's just, I mean, it could happen, right? I mean, there's a chance it could happen.
In the state that it was, they were passionate about the game. They were passionate about the series and their characters that they had created, and were now living in this MMO. And so, you know, it would have been easy to just say, okay, bye guys, you know. But if you do that, then you've basically alienated the only group that stuck with you, you know, for all of those years, when everyone else is slamming the game, talking about how bad it is. I mean, those guys were troopers. They would go on the forums. They were defending, you know, the development team when you know, a lot of times we didn't deserve defending. So that idea to...
That's a little fucking familiar, isn't it?
Wipe the slate clean, but not make it something completely new. Make it something that was connected.
I have to say, like, this guy, Gaius von Belsar, I think this is him. I'm like 90% sure. Maybe it was somebody else in the other one. I remember whenever you were on that elevator ride, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, are we sure he's the bad guy? Like, are we sure? Like, cause I don't know. Like, this guy's pretty cool.
Some way to that
Did you know about any of the 1.0 stuff? I know about the story stuff. Like, I know about that. And I've tried to, like, I remember a lot of shit, right? So, I remember pretty much everything about the story that, like, people could quiz me and like, be like, oh, do you remember this, remember that? Like, I probably would remember all of them. Yeah, like, pretty much, like, I'd say, like, 9 out of 10. Watch the new Wukong trailer? No, I haven't. 1.0. Legendary sex scene? I don't remember that. Quiz stream when? I'll take a Final Fantasy quiz stream. I'll do that. Yeah, I would do that. Subtitles is good. We good. Yeah, I'll look into it after this.
Hello and welcome to the final part of our fantastical tale. We sit on the
Dude, whenever I was a kid, like I saw the Sega thing, it made me think of it. Like the only thing I wanted to do was go to Japan because like that's where they made Nintendo shit and everything. Like I wanted to go to Japan so bad whenever I was a kid.
Of the rebirth of Square Enix's New World, almost exactly 3 years after the original catastrophic launch, Eorzea was going to be getting a second chance. But this time, everybody knew it wasn't going to be getting a third.
I bet. Uh-oh, the new world.
Once Dalamud had struck, Yoshida-san moved the 1.x patch team into the main team working on A Realm Reborn, taking lessons from contemporary MMOs, feedback from players over the 1.x phase, and elements that worked from the original version. They crafted a modern Final Fantasy XIV, set in a vibrant world that reflected the energy of the franchise. And for Yoshida-san and some other members of the team, this was going to be a very public thing.
It looks
as they
so
took the
much
short
better.
Train ride from the office in Shinjuku to Shibuya to take part in a very special launch event.
その渋谷のイベントへ向かうために朝電車に乗ってた。で、少しリハーサルを当然やらなきゃいけないので、まあ少し早めに家を出て、ああいよいよ発売日かって思いながら、そ
I
の
will be freaking out.
電車に乗っていたらちょうどそのドアの近くに立ってたんですよ。そしたらそのドアの僕は右側に立ってたんだけど、左側に立っていた男の子、多分大学生ぐらいだと思うんだけど、緑の綺麗な男の子がすっと僕のとこに寄ってきて、小声で「
What do you say?
吉田さんですよね」本当に発売おめでとうございますって。
Isn't that nice? Mr. Yoshida, I really want to congratulate you on the release. I am a player. Like, it's not some crazy ass shit. It's not some, like, live, oh, be on my live stream. It's not anything weird. It's just like, yeah, thank you. That's it. That's so cool.
って言われたんですよ。
Yeah. It's not some crazy kid or anything like that. Yeah, just a normal person.
そのイベントを始めて、で、まあみんなでそのまあここまで来る話をまあステージでしていて、
Yo, can I get a shout out? Yeah. You follow me on Twitter?
まあマイクが当たってきて話をしようとしたら、その朝そう言われたことをちょっと思い出しちゃって、いやいろいろあったなって思ったら、言葉に詰まっちゃった瞬間にその来てたプレイヤーたち、お客さんたちがこう頑張れって言われちゃって。
You gotta remember, this is like after 2 years of fucking like grinding every day.
MMO って発売してもそれがゴールじゃないスタートなので、なんかあんまり干渉に浸ってる暇なんて
Yeah, they worked their
本来
fucking
ないんだ
ass off.
思わずこうプレイヤーにこう頑張れって言われたせいで泣けてきちゃって、恥ずかしかったですね。
運営を続けていこうと思います。本当にありがとうございます。そしてこれからもどうぞよろしくお願いします。
Came out 2013. When was that? So August 27th, 2013 So like Mists of Pandaria came out September 25th, 2012. So it's about a year after that. It's like around the time that like Thunder King was out, and like, yeah, that's about it. Somewhere around there. Siege, or was Siege already out by then? Maybe it's August. Like, yeah, maybe Siege was out by then. 9 years ago. That's a long time. Holy shit. Disastrous 2013, around $10 billion. Oh, 105 million. That's still a lot. Couldn't afford another failure. Yeah, true. Fuck, man. IGN. That's the new music.
Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is a great MMORPG experience on both PC and PlayStation 2.
Wow.
Grounded in tradition and learning from the lessons of the games that preceded it, it thrives on the strengths of its excitingly varied and flexible class system and highly mobile combat.
The game's rough launch is mostly over, but you still might have to contend with login errors. But this is, by and large, a very good, massively multiplayer game, filled with lots of stuff to do, gorgeous vistas to behold, and lots of adorable narrative touches.
The challenge ahead for Square is to achieve...
I think like one thing that was a big factor with this was the fact that like now the game, because like people are invested in the characters and like they're invested into the narrative, I think that actually played like a huge role in like Final Fantasy continuing to be popular. You know, that was a massive fucking thing.
The delicate balance of questing, dungeons, and fates for the second half of the leveling process, as well as it has the first.
8.6.
Stunning reversal
Holy
of fortune
shit.
that Square has achieved here, it seems like anything is possible.
And you've got to keep in mind, there was a bunch of goofball shit in Realm Reborn. Like, in my opinion, like the Final Fantasy that we play, I feel like that kind of happened in Stormblood from what I've read and what I've seen. Because like the way the game played back then was a lot different. Am I right about that? Like, yeah, it kind of happened in Stormblood, yeah. Heavensward, you mean? I feel like Heavensward, like Shadowbringers for you. Shadowbringers even? Really? God damn. I didn't realize it was that early.
Like then on your end, after
I thought it was Stormblood.
years working on this game, having the launch, basically being required to work on two separate games at the same time, patching one and then building an entirely new one, almost in secret for a large part of it, to then see, like, what was it like reading reviews and reading message boards when people were like, oh fuck, they did it?
It was, yeah, I mean, we were just as surprised. I mean, not as surprised because again, it was definitely different. You know, in those months before releasing the original, I mean, I knew that the game wasn't in good shape, and so it's kind of
everybody knows
lying to yourself, trying to say, no, this is going to be good. They're going to like this part. They're going to like this part. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But with A Realm Reborn, playing it's like, this is a really good game. I mean, you're playing it, like, enjoying it, you know. But there's still that little bit in the back of your mind that's like, you know, and it's what we were told, is that once the game has been reviewed, even if you try to rebuild it, everyone's going to remember the old. They're not going to look at the new. I mean, Metacritic never forgets. When 14 came out, the original, and it was maybe people were like, okay, I think, you know, I'm a hardcore offline Final Fantasy guy, but I'll try out this new one. But then, okay, it's terrible. See, I knew it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to come back for a second time. It's like, no, I already played that. It was terrible. And so there was just this feeling that even if it's a really great game, no one's going to play it. They're just going to like brush it off because it's the bad Final Fantasy Online that I tried, you know, in beta and it sucked, so I'm not going to play it.
It's really hard to get out from under that. It is so hard to get out from under people already kind of making up their mind that it's like, this game is bad. And like, that's the thing, is like, I use again, like New World is an example of that. New World, you know, they fixed a lot of the stuff that they did wrong. Now, obviously, like New World is like, it still has a million problems, but it's a bit of a comparison.
Anymore. And so yeah, we were afraid of that, but then wow, it was just, I mean, servers breaking on, not breaking, but like servers getting so packed with people in those first few days, and then seeing the reviews come in, and you know,
people popping off.
They saved, and then they start saying things like, you know, you saved the franchise, and you know, you saved the series, and
yeah, exactly. It was massive. Like, I bet people were so happy. By the way, like, how the fuck did like a Goobu go wild and all dawn? They couldn't stop it. Like, that's one thing I didn't understand with the story. It's like, bro, this bitch is level 12. Like, isn't there somebody that can just like one-shot it in the whole city? Like, what do you mean it's going wild? It just casts one spell. You know what I mean? Like, I was pissed whenever I heard about that. I'm like, well, what do you mean?
And
it was on Stampede?
I don't know,
yeah,
remembering what it was like, you know, at their launch of 1.0, and then
some
just being able to, because who gets to re-experience a bad launch? It's something you don't get in the game industry. And
I do.
Especially in MMOs.
And we did, and it was a great experience to be able to say, it was just that vindication of like all of that extra work that we had put in. It was what Yoshida-san had promised us. If we worked hard and we did this right, that in a year and a half's time, you know, we can do this. And a lot of people didn't believe him, and you know, a normal person probably wouldn't believe him. But I mean, maybe that's why we were able to do it, because all of the abnormals remained and made something that was, you know, literally impossible.
That's
happen.
crazy. Holy fuck, man. Holy fucking
やっぱり
shit.
サーバーがあまりにもその混雑してその遊べない
Hey, yo, some things never change. What was it? It said, oh, the servers are full. Nobody can play the game. I'm like, yeah. This video from like fucking like 5 years ago or something like that, right?
せっかくパッケージをお金を出して買ってきたのにゲームが遊べないとは何事だ、まあ、オンラインゲームだから当然サーバーに繋がらないと遊べないので、なんか評価とか以前の問題でその買ってもらったのに遊べない状況を作ってること自体がその僕にとってはまあ、ショック。あんなに来るとはもちろん思って。
This is what happened with it happened with New World, where a lot of people played more than what they thought, and it happens with like every MMO. It's like you have to expect like everybody is just bored. Like if you make an MMO, even if your MMO is garbage, people are gonna play it. Like we all played Bless Online the first day, right? No, we didn't play it the second day, but we played it the first day. Like yeah, well, what's going on here? Yeah, you should just expect that.
なかったっていうのも要因ですけど、だから評価云々の前にまずちゃんとゲームに接続して遊べるようにしなきゃっていうことばっかりが当時の1ヶ月半ぐらい出荷を停止したりとか販売を停止したりとか。
That's what they did with the game recently.
それしか全然覚えてないですね。
With most other genres, this would be the part of the story where we fade to black and roll credits.
Yeah.
But such luxuries don't exist in the world of massively multiplayer online games. In fact, after the release of A Realm Reborn, or 2.0 as they call it internally, the team applied the same content-rich patching schedule they had undertaken with 1.0, releasing a significant 2.x patch to the game every 3 to 4 months. Over the next 2 years, these patches progressed the story of ARR, added in epic raids and new modes such as 72-player PvP battles. But just like before, while the team was working on these 2.x patches, they were concurrently building an updated version of the game, the first expansion pack, Heavensward.
I played that.
2014年の
I played that game. Look at that.
10月9月10月ぐらいかな、開発チームにも吉田さん申請したら楽になるって言ってませんでしたっけってバカ MMO これだけ巨大な規模の MMO は最初のエクスパンションパック出すところまでがスタートダッシュなんだよって言ってごめんねって
Well, I mean, it was what was in our minds was, you know, not having another letdown. Don't take for granted that the rebuild was a success.
The first time I ever really heard about this game was with Heavensward. Before then, I didn't really hear much about Final Fantasy. I was just like, you know, it's whatever, right? It was Heavensward is whenever I really heard about it. Whenever the initial game came out. It's because like Heaven's Ward came out about like the same time ish that fucking WoD was out, and I think so. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like it was like kind of like in that same time period that I was like made aware of it. And like there were some people that were playing the other game. They're like, I'm gonna try out Final Fantasy, see what that's like.
We can't just expect our users to say, oh, they're going to release expansion, so we can do whatever we want, and doesn't matter, they'll buy it, ha ha ha. You know, there was none of that sense. One good thing that came out of the failed launch is that it's instilled into, you know, the developers, all of the developers' minds that, you know, we have to always strive to be better. We can't, you know, let our guard down. It's in everyone's mind, and it's always lurking back there, and we don't want to repeat that. And because of that, everyone is like always on the top of their game.
Is that still there even now? Because it's been 3.5 years.
Well, I mean, yeah, the old guard, yes, we all have that. We all have that. But it's not all the old guard anymore. People have moved off onto other projects. Some people have left the company to go freelance, you know, explore new opportunities. A lot of new people have come in, and so a lot of people, don't remember, you know, what happened in 1.0 because they weren't
summer
there.
Children.
That's right, exactly. And you know, us old timers can tell them, well, back in my day, we did it, and they'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And you know, sometimes it does feel like that. There's always the chance that, you know, you can just get too full of yourself and not do 100%, not learn from your mistakes, and
I feel like that's what usually happens.
Like, no, we're done.
That's what usually happens is like people like they have like a big dub, and then they just kind of get lazy. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens. It's like with Blizzard is like Blizzard, CD Projekt Red, like there's a lot of other ones too. I probably just like those are the first to phone it in. Yeah, basically.
And you know, we were lucky to be given a second chance. We were really lucky to have that second chance actually succeed. I don't know, third time, I don't know if I want to, you know, press my luck any further. It's not a good, fun situation to be in. The things that I've learned over these past 7-8 years working on 11, the original and the new and the expansions, is something that I'm going to carry with me to all future projects, as it will with, I mean, all of the other devs that have done that. A piece of that Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, a piece of that, you know, ARR and the expansions will be with all of them, and you know, hopefully they'll be able to use that in all their future projects.
Heaven's Word was another win for the team. Critically praised and loved by the community, it helped push cumulative subscriptions for the game beyond 5 million. In fact, the amount of players in Eorzea has kept rising.
I wonder how many people, like how many active subs they have, right? Because like these are people that have played the game, but like I wonder how many that they have like at any given time. 5 mil, that's huge. I would say like 1.5 to 4.5 million. Like, but it's like I don't really know that. Like, I have nothing to really base that off of. It's just a guess.
あります。上がり下がりをしながら少しずつ右へ上がっていくっていうのが、まああんまり他の MMO ではない曲線なのかもしれないですけど、とにかくゲームデザインでずっとこのファイナルファンタジー14というゲームをプレイし続けていなければついていけなくなるとか、その一度やめてしまったら戻れないっていうふうに絶対にならないよ。
That's probably why it retains a lot of players, is because it doesn't try to retain a lot of players. It's like people come back and they'll leave and they'll play the game and like they'll come back and forth, but like they don't burn out of it. I think like having like burning out of a game is bad. Like that, in my opinion, that's what's really unhealthy for a game, is like people burn out and then they don't want to play it anymore. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They don't want to think about it. They don't even want to look at it, you know?
っていうのが14のゲームデザインの根幹にある。なぜなら今本当にみんな忙しい。一つのゲームだけになんだろう、毎日ログインし続けられるわけじゃない。それはもともと MMO が大好きな僕ですらそうなので、そう考えた時に遊びたい時に遊んで、 メジャーアップデートが来たら一気に遊んで、少し落ち着いて他のゲームを遊んだり、家族サービスをしたり、でまたメジャーが来たらそれでいいと思ってるし、これからの MMO はそうじゃないと多分
That is fucking true. I think that's absolutely true. Like games that try to make you log on and be online all the time, I feel like those are the games that people get burnt out from, people don't give a shit about, and they just in general like learn, they like over time they begin to resent the game, you know? And like Lost Ark has that problem with like, for example, like playing the game on one character is like not, it's good, right? But if you don't like, if you don't pay to win, if you don't RMT and you're playing one character, you might not even be at Vicus yet. And that's if you're playing all the time, you know? And I think that's what the issue is that like you have games like that and like WoW and like New World had this to an extent with the fucking gypsum orbs and stuff like that, chest runs, etc. And yeah, things that make you feel like you have to play the game. That's what made me like not like raiding, is I felt like I had to play the game.
やっていけない。でやっぱり大きくゲ
gypsum
ーム1本分の新しい体験が来た時、全員集合して最新のファイナルファンタジーをプレイしてもらいたい。だからそれが基本ベースにあるので、やっぱりそのパッチの間で上がり下がりはする。ただ評判を聞いてずっと増え続けていくっていうのが理想だと思ってるし、
I think it'll keep going up too.
やれてきてるので、ただもっともっと遊んでほしい、たくさんの人にと思ってるので、
Well, we did.
まだまだ続けたいとは思う。
Yeah, a lot of people popped off and started
The latest
playing
expansion pack, Stormblood, comes...
I feel like this is what happened, is that like a lot of people... See, the thing is, like with WoW, for example, people would have never left WoW if like they didn't drop the ball so hard. Like, I don't think people recognize and realize like how hard Blizzard dropped the ball from like Legion to fucking now, basically. Like, it was just so bad. Absolute fucking garbage. And like, yeah, it was so hard so many times. Dragonfight is almost like a last shot in the eyes of people, or now the awareness of Final Fantasy XIV has been so prevalent lately. I think the reality is that I don't think Shadowlands really turned players into it didn't turn WoW players into Final Fantasy players. It turned WoW players into MMO players. Because a lot of the people, like, they realize, like, yeah, I'm going to play Final Fantasy for a while, then I'm going to play Lost Ark, and, you know, I might try out New World whenever it comes out. So, like, before then, WoW was, like, the only game, and, like, now I think that people play Final Fantasy, they play Lost Ark, Elden Ring. I mean, even Ian said in the interview that I did with him, like, yeah, I played Elden Ring, right? It's like, of course. So I think that's much more what it did. It wasn't like everybody comes back to like that game or not. And also conversely, there are a lot of people that every single time that WoW comes out with an expansion, they're going to buy it. If Dragonfight sucks, it doesn't matter. They'll buy the next one too. Because most people that play WoW, that are big WoW fans, they get their money's worth from just like playing the game for 1 month, right? They play the expansion, they play through the first raid, they do that a couple times, maybe they stay sub the second month, maybe not, and then they're done until maybe the last, the last couple of patches for that expansion, and then it just repeats itself. Like, that's what happens. So yeah, I think that's what the WoW decline did, is it didn't really make a lot of Final Fantasy players, it made a lot of MMO players.
Hot on the heels of 2 years worth of 3.x patches, which have added fresh storylines and features to Heavensward. With it comes increased level caps, new dungeons, jobs, raids, zones, and some changes to the battle system. Stormblood will also mark the end of the game's lifetime on the PlayStation 3, but of course in the intervening years, the team has since launched the game on the PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy XIV had been a financial disaster for Square Enix.
I bet.
Subscriptions were turned off for most of the 1.x era, and the company poured significant funds and trust into the team tasked with its rebirth. The importance of this franchise to the company is mirrored by its importance to its players and of course the development team. This is a group of people who have dedicated years into ensuring that this game came back from the dead. Yoshida-san says he only needs about 4 hours sleep a night. I asked him about his social life. He says he doesn't really remember anything except work. He speaks
I wish that I could sleep for 4 hours a night, man. I waste so much time sleeping. It sucks. Like, I wish I could sleep 4 hours. Yeah, that'd be great. Like, I have to sleep like 8 hours a day, or like I am just not good.
Fondly of those players that stuck with the team, those warriors of light that were saved at the end of 1.0. His respect for fans of this game and all Final Fantasy fans is clear to see. The realm of Eorzea is totally different now. A bustling, vibrant place full of stories, quests and adventurers. A world expanded upon even more with the release of Stormblood. But the old world, the story of 1.0, the fall of Dalamud and the people who survived the cataclysm will always live on. Those who were there, be them player or developer, will forever be bound together by that experience.
Instead of a lot of games will create, these myths for their games, we have a myth that actually happened, but because it happened so long ago and only a few people saw it, most of the new players now, they look back and it's like, did it really happen? What is this battle with the White Raven and Riven Road? And
that was actually one of the things that happened with Classic WoW, I think, is that like so much of the game, especially with like removed content like Nax and stuff, so much of it was like shrouded kind of in mystery. You didn't really know what it was really like. And I think that was the big reason why a lot of people wanted to go back and have the experience again, Is it like, what really was this like? Because it was so long ago.
It was just this grand battle, all different levels and this, dimensional rifts. And it sounds like an actual myth, but it's not just a story we made up for this, it's actually happened. And as the game progresses and new players come on, I mean, it's further and further back in history that this really cool thing happened. And so, I mean, that Visual Works cutscene, I mean, I remember watching it and just like, goosebumps all over. I mean, I'm watching with all of these other, like the directors and producers and the director of the Visual Works, and we're all sitting there and they're all watching it, and I'm just watching and like I've got like tear in my eyes. Yeah, it's dust, and
it was really good.
Was that powerful because it kind of encompassed not only what the character went through, it was an image of what we as developers had done as well. At the beginning, we're all, let's do this. It's going to be an adventure. We're like that first cutscene where, with the party that goes out and they have their guild leave and they go out and they fight the Morble, and that's us at the beginning. And then the release hits you and you're down. I mean, then you have that cutscene where it's just like everyone's working together to make something new, and then it fails, but no, it didn't fail, and you're just, and all of the memories of the past years, the good and the bad, kind of all come together. I like the metaphor of that.
That's cool.
And just so overwhelming, and that's pretty much the reaction then when we finally released it to the public that we got. I mean, so many people. I just remember the forums, checking out the forums that day. I mean, people were just like, I've been in tears all day. I've watched it 10 times, and to see that, that everyone felt the same way. It wasn't just the development team. It's that you have this hardcore group of very, very loyal fans that they believed in the game. We believed in the game. We stuck together. We were able to build this new thing that's not just for us, but it's opening up the doors for a whole new audience. But remember, we were there first. We're the ones that that stood by it, and we're the ones that did this. And they have the pride in that. Those players,
I bet that would have been so
those
crazy.
Warriors of Light that were
that would have been so fucking crazy to see. They get to stick around with the game and then actually see it do well. Like, I mean, damn. Like, I really think so. It's just, I can't even really imagine that. It is just, it's so cool to me.
Before Meteor
They have the name in there? Yeah, exactly.
Yoshida-san in interviews will always talk about, those people that supported us and we couldn't have done it. I mean, it sounds so cliche. Oh, we couldn't have done it without your support. Literally, we could not have done it. Literally, we could not have done it. I mean, if there was, those people hadn't remained, we just would like, no, let's forget it. We're not going to do it. We wouldn't have put as much effort in. It would have just been, okay, yeah, whatever, let's just free to play,
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then what? Yeah, free to play and, cash shop and, uh-huh. Yeah, because he knows how it goes. He's played video games. He knows what's going on, right? You make a game free to play, there's a reason for that. And it's almost never good.
Back when, 1.0 came out, and could you have imagined that 3-4 years later, you'd be in a fan event with thousands of people in Germany?
No, I don't really imagine that. Yeah, I mean, one day, I mean, yeah, we were, I mean,
Maybe
always
one day I'll go to one of
saying
these.
one day we want to run a big fun event. We were, I mean, actually dreaming to have a huge fun festival.
Yeah, that'd
in
be
the
cool.
future at that time. But actually, yeah, we made it. So yeah, that was really great.
Some dreams come true.
Yes, yes.
まあただ自分スクエア長いんですけれども、あんまり変な言い方ですけど、こう会社に対して帰属意識というか、なんかそこはあまりなくてですね、やっぱりゲーム作るって誰と一緒に作るかがすごく大切で、そこが一番重要だなと思っているんで、今回のプロジェクトは本当に組んでみたいというスタッフと組んですごく大きなことがやれて、すごい楽しかったし楽しいですねって感じではい。
まあ強調したいことがあるとすれば、その初日に 1.0 の話をしてましたけど、誰か一人そのもしくはデベロップメントチームがということではなくて、やっぱり今でも本当に会社自体の大きな
That's one of the things, like, people talk about company-wide mistake. Like, that's the thing is, like, every once in a while, there's, like, one guy that'll, like, leave Blizzard. And, like, the one person leaves Blizzard. And, like, I remember this happened. I think the guy's name is Jeff Hamilton. He was a systems designer. And, like, the guy left Blizzard, and everybody was like, wow, the game is saved. It's like they honestly thought that it was just Jeff sitting there fucking like, yeah, I'm going to mess this one up. I'm going to mess that one up. I'm going to mess it all up. Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, all of the decisions that happen with, like, big games like this, these are, like, massive decisions made by a lot of people put together.
過ちがその全ての悪い部分がファイナルファンタジー14で出てしまったっていう、そのまあそれはリリースって意味のデータではなくて、それが全て爆発したのがファイナルファンタジー14のオリジナルバージョンだったんじゃないかって本当に強く思ってるので、でも今そのまあ14のリバンプを会社全体としてやって、
I heard Final Fantasy 15 wasn't that good.
スクエニは少しずつ変わってきたと思ってるし、
Yeah, people said like negative stuff
もっ
about
と
it.
変わらなきゃいけない
I don't
と
know
思
if
っ
it
て
is or not.
もしかすると少し安心してる人たちも今いるのかもしれないけど、まだまだ変わらなきゃいけないと思ってるので、なんかそのあたりがうまく伝わってるといいなとは思います。これはなんだろう、スクエアエニックスっていう会社が作るゲームに期待してもらってる人が世界中にたくさんいると思うんですけど、僕もそうだったから、でもまだまだスクエアエニックスってこのレベルじゃない。
Everybody can always do better, right? And I think that's what a lot of people want to see, right? Is they just want to see the best content possible, right? Like that's it. Is like things can always be better. Like Elden Ring can be better, right? Every game can be better.
じゃん、もっと上いけるじゃんって思ってくれてるはずなので、そのためにはもっと変わらなきゃいけないし、チャレンジもしなきゃいけないと思ってるので、そういった要素も今回のそのお話でうまく伝わってくれると嬉しいかなとは思います。僕らはそういうつもりでやってますっていうメッセージが少しでもね出ていけばいいなとは。プレイヤーの皆さんと会社が望めばそうなってると思いますし、プレイヤーの皆さんや会社が他のゲームを作れって望んでくれれば他のゲーム作ってるかもしれないですし、両方一緒に同時にやってるかもしれないし、僕は少なくともスクエアエニックスって今会社の、スタッフで自分の会社なわけではないので、やっぱプレイヤーの皆さん、ファンの皆さんがスクエアエニックスに何を期待するのかっていうのを会社がどう考えるかだと僕は思ってるんで、まあ、もちろん自分で作ってみたいゲームがないわけじゃもちろんないですけど、まあ、好きなものを作りたいならね、会社辞めて自分で会社作って作ればって思っちゃうんで、まあ望まれる限りは頑張ろうと思いますけど、ただそろそろね プロデューサーとディレクターのどっちかは誰かやってくんねえかなって思いますけどね。
He says he's got to work too much. Yeah, I can imagine like being in charge of like the whole game is so fucking draining, man. I would bet it was. Like, I would think so. Absolutely, man. Holy shit. Yeah, it must be hard.
The tale of the death and rebirth of Final Fantasy XIV Online is a cautionary tale in corporate hubris. It's a story about the power of humility, respect, and unity. A fun story for those of us who knew nothing about it. Cherished times for those who were fortunate enough to be there when it all happened.
I don't know if fortunate's the word.
A wonderful reminder of something we come across so often in life. The idea that reality can often be even more amazing than the fantasy.
That's true. This was really good. Holy shit, this was really, really good. Yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, they had the interviews. Like, yeah, this was really great. Holy shit. Yeah, this documentary was amazing. I loved it. Maybe for Shadowbringers? Yeah, I know. It's weird to think I'm gonna play the game again, too. Like, I don't think I've logged on to Final Fantasy in, like, months. Oh my god, it's gonna be weird. Final Fantasy 14 quiz. Let me see if I can find one, and I'll see if I can get it right, okay? Well, I'll try that real quick. Play Genshin? Yo, chill. Okay, I'll see if I find a quiz, and we'll do that. Where is it? FF14 quiz. Let's see if I can find it. Ultimate Final Fantasy quiz? I don't know if this is really... Yeah, none of these really work that well. A Realm Reborn? Final bosses, dungeon final bosses. This is 6.0. I feel like there's not really a lot of these at all. Yeah, if somebody found one and they can link it to me, I would look at it. But I don't see any of these that are like too special. Look at trivia, not quiz. I feel like trivia is just going to be a list of things that you need to know, right? Or like just different cool things like that, right? Do it after Endwalkers, spoilers. See, like if I read the name of something, I'm not really going to know what that means. You know what I mean? GeoGuessr quizzes where you can select the expansion. Maybe. I don't know about that. You're in Donkey's new video. Yeah, I fucking saw that. I saw that. I got called the fuck out. Next one, 10 years of Final Fantasy, same quality as this. You're missing out on the Make It Rain campaign right now? No, I'm not, because I have enough MGP to buy everything in the game. So, like, why the fuck would I need more MGP? I literally have everything in the game already. So there's no reason to worry about that at all. All the quizzes go up to at least Shadowbringers? Yeah, that's fine. Whenever that happens, I'll take one and we'll see how much I actually remember. You know what I mean? They added new MGP items. Yeah, but it's like cheap shit. I think it's like 200K, right? For like some mount. That's nothing. I have like 3 or 4 million. Like I ran that blue mage thing where like you would do like coils 3 and you'd finish it in like 30 seconds. Yeah, I ran that shit a bunch, and so I didn't need to worry about that at all. The event emo, yeah, there is that. Maybe I tried that. You went hard for Gold Saucer? I did. I went crazy with that. The Blue Mage, I need to do the Blue Mage, fucking like getting all the abilities and get that Morble mount. Apparently you have to do like fucking Coils and Alexander, like Min-Eye level no echo. With like all blue mages in order to complete it. Do you have Necromancer title? No, I do not. I've tried to get Necromancer. I took a break from it for a long time because like I don't like the pressure that like that things like that put on me. But I do eventually want to get it. I thought about even going back and trying it on a warrior instead. Is Necromancer like a lot easier on a warrior? Because I was doing it on Machinist. Too much pressure? There's a lot of fucking pressure. Yeah, it's doable on a warrior. It's harder on warrior. Yeah. I feel like it's a lot harder, and like just doing it on Machinist would be a better idea. And Machinist is broken, Warrior is easier but slower. Yeah, I think so. I would probably prefer to just do it on the Machinist, since that's what I practiced on a lot. Timer becomes a problem if you do it as a tank. Yeah, you've got to probably pull a bunch of mobs at the same time or something like that. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So I'll probably play like a little bit of like Lost Ark or some shit for a while, and then I'm just gonna kind of chill, guys. Honestly, I have had really bad allergies, and it's hard for me to even talk. Like my throat's bothering me, everything. Like I am fucked, man. I'm hopefully like tomorrow I'll be able to relax. I'm not going to be on tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be an off day for me. And then on Tuesday, that's whenever we pop back on. That's whenever we pop off. Tuesday, we begin Final Fantasy again. Now, I want to say something for people to make sure that they understand this. I am not gonna only play Final Fantasy, and I am gonna do my intros. They will not be as long though, because the intros have been like super, like not intros really, but like, you know, I'll get into the gaming content earlier in the stream. That way people don't have to stay up late for it. But that's currently what my plan is. You know, like maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 hours if it's something like really big. Like maybe I'm thinking like, just a second. God fucking damn it. I'm thinking somewhere around like, you know, like 4 hours or so. And that's currently what I'm planning. And that's what I want to do. And I gonna probably do like, I want to do the MSQ. I want to do it quickly. And that way, but I want to do it quickly, but pretty much the same time for the amount of same time every day. And the reason for that is that I know a lot of people want to watch it. So I want them to know whenever they can tune in. You know what I mean? And so that's what it is. Let's recap my gameplay. I mean, I like doing the recap and just talking. To be honest, guys, I'm going to be totally real. I enjoy it a lot because it feels relaxed for me. I don't stress out as much. I like playing games, but like sometimes I feel like I'm under pressure playing games and I'm like not very like good at video games, and like it fucking gets me mad, and it's just like a weird vibe, right? And so like I like doing like the reacts, talking about stuff, and just like going over different news and everything like that. That's what I enjoy a lot. And you know, to be honest, like it's much more energy intensive, but other than that, it's good. Final Fantasy Rebirth trailer? I don't know what that is, actually. I have no idea. Fake Gamer? I kind of, yeah. I mean, and I'm not even kidding. Like, I really just don't, I don't like doing it that much. Yeah, it's just, it's not enjoyable for me as a person. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not enjoyable because like also, like I'll get mad and shit. And so like, then I'll like be like insecure because like I feel like I'm playing bad, and it's just like, then it's like vicious cycle shit. You know what I mean? Will accept armor whenever you start Stormblood? Yeah, I will. I'll accept anything people want to give me. I don't really give a shit because any of the hard content, any of that content, I'm already gonna be, I'm gonna be ahead on it. You know? Second part I say, Final Fantasy VII Remake looks good. Yeah, the Fortnite streams, exactly. And anyway, yeah, I think I have the Stormblood set. Going for Vicus on release day? Yeah, I am. I'm gonna do Vicus on release day. I'll look up the fight ahead of time so I know what to do. But Vicus is the, I don't know what's gonna happen on Thursday, actually. That'll be a weird day. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, like that, yeah, I guess maybe I'll have to do that on Thursday. And like, cause like we'll do Allcraft as well. I'm not sure, there'll be a Zach stream tomorrow. I have no idea, it depends on how I feel, right? And so that's it. Remember already reacting, showing, playing video games where people tune in? GG. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not, like, this is, like, again, like, my personal opinion on shit, right? But, like, I'm not, like, I don't really, I feel like, in general, watching, like, react content and just chatting content is, like, more interesting. At least, like, for me, it is. And so, like, I think that makes sense. It depends. Yeah, I think so. MSQ is React content? Yeah, MSQ is basically React content, exactly. Yeah, it's just like some gaming's okay, but like, it's just not really. I don't know. Video games are dead? Yeah. What would you choose between Classic and Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy. I'm done with Classic, man. Like, I'll play Wrath, but like, I did Vanilla. I did what I set out to do. It's done. I'm happy. I feel good about it, man. That's it. It depends on the concept. Final Fantasy documentary is beautiful. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. And Witcher 3 is React content too. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys very much for watching. As I said, I can't talk that loud for too long. It's hard for me. So I'm going to just chill, and maybe I'll do like a little bit of honing, and then we'll get ready and just kind of chill. And so, like, yeah, Tuesday is the day. Tuesday is the fucking day. Holy shit. Plus 25 at least? Yeah, I know. Caesar Mastery, community content when you get back to Final Fantasy, because it was fun. Oh, community content? Yeah, I'll do community content. I feel like Final Fantasy, take a break till Tuesday? Yeah, Donkey calls you out, but I saw that. I saw that. Fucking Donkey calling me out. What do you mean, dude? What do you mean Donkey calling my ass out? Fake gamer. Listen, I play a lot of video games. I just feel like doing it on stream is hard for me to do. You know, that's it. Some of your best streams are with the MSQ ones. Well, we'll get back into it, and we'll get back to it, I think so. It'll be fun. Did you see a TED clip on your subreddit? Yes, I did. For recap, for anybody that didn't see, Ted Cruz actually knows a lot more about gaming than I thought he did. Like, I thought it was a bit of a risk, but I was like, yeah, he does. And so maybe we've got some common ground there. We'll see what happens. That was so weird. Yeah, it's nuts. But like the logic I use, right, is like, I thought to myself, I'm like, man, this dude's on social media all the fucking time. Like, he's on the media all the fucking time. Like, he's got kids. He's not like super fucking old. He probably, like, if anybody knows about like games and shit, it could be this guy, right? I mean, like, yeah, it could be this guy. And so he has kids at games. Yeah, exactly. And so was he one of them playing violent video games for the shootings? Yeah, I know. I thought that was so, like, I don't understand why he would say that. I thought that was so dumb. He was wailing, yeah. He's 50 something? Yeah, but that's not super old, right? It's really not. Let me go do this and do a little bit of honing and just relax for a while, run some ads and just chill. Could you imagine AOC and Ted Cruz signing a bipartisan bill to ban loot boxes? I could see that. Yeah, I actually could. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that are just fucking tired of this shit. Yeah, it's just that AOC would sell out. No, I mean, people say the same thing about Ted Cruz, man. Like, I'm not about that shit. Like, I don't really... One thing you have to understand about me is, like, I only care about getting what I want. I will do anything. I will collab with anyone. I will listen to anything. I will deal with any level of bullshit. It doesn't matter what I have to do with. All I care is getting what I want. That's it. Like, everything else is secondary. I just want to achieve my goal, and everything else is whatever. Based on yes, I'm very pragmatic. You look out for yourself, nobody else will. Yeah. To dress up a bit. You want the TED interview? Yeah, I'll wear a nice shirt if it ends up happening. Yeah, sure. Sociopathic mindset. Well, I think it's just about being focused. You know, it's about being focused and knowing what you're doing with your time. That's what it comes down to. When we run some ads and just chill for a bit.